Okay, this is the 5-minute tarot for the 3rd of February 2017. I'd like to mention the Dynamic Tarot website. So in the description below, there's the first mention is going to be dynamictarot.com. And if you go there, there's a couple of free courses, but you can also sign up for a newsletter. So if you want to do that, by all means, give me an email address. Okay, so today is going to be about cards. Okay, so the thing is, the past, present, future spread that we looked at a little while ago, it had the Page of Swords for the future, and there were no major trumps. So we might think that the reading wasn't that important. Okay, no major trumps, and the future was just the Page of Swords. But when you think about it, we may need to consider what we're doing or what we're getting with the reading. And the thoughts that I'd like to look at now can apply to all cards. So let's say you personally, who's watching this, let's say the two of us are in a living room somewhere. And I pick a card and I say, today's the 3rd of February, and I say, you're going to meet somebody important in the last week of February. So you've got like 3 weeks, a bit more, before you're going to meet somebody important. So what you think of as important right now, because I say you're going to meet somebody important, you probably immediately have ideas of what this important person is going to be, or what area of life they're going to be important for, right? So you may think, okay, I'm going to meet somebody who's going to give me a job. Or if you've been struggling with relationships, you may think, okay, this important person's the person I'm going to settle down with, maybe the person I'm going to marry, right? So when I say you're going to meet somebody who's important, you have an idea of what this important person will be like, or what this important meeting will be about when the time comes. So let's say it's the last week in February, and the person that you meet, let's say you do meet an important person, but the person that you meet is important for some other reason that you hadn't thought of when I first told you were going to meet somebody important. So let's say I say you're going to meet somebody important, and you're saying, okay, I'm going to get a job offer. But instead, you happen to meet somebody you could have married, but you weren't looking for somebody you were going to marry. You were instead expecting work or a solution to a financial problem. You've got some preconceived idea of what the future looks like, or what it's going to be, because of the card that came up. So the point is, if we're told about the future, we can misunderstand it. So it doesn't work, or it doesn't turn out the way we thought it was going to work. So it doesn't basically work. But it would have worked out if we hadn't interfered at the time of being told, or if we hadn't been living in the future, immediately start to live in the future at the time we were told about what was going to happen. Right, so I was speaking to somebody a few days ago who's going to have surgery. She's going to hospital for surgery in a couple of weeks. And she said the surgery was scheduled for like 2 o'clock. It's going to take 3 hours, an hour recovery. And she was determined that she was going to go home. She definitely wanted to come home. And she had told the hospital staff that this is what she wanted. And she wasn't going to spend the night in hospital. Which, if she stayed the night in hospital, she could be monitored. And that may be a good thing to do. So I can understand wanting to get home. But at the same time, what's the rush? You know, why not have the operation, see what happens, what you feel like after the operation, after the surgery, and in the light of what happened and how it went, then make a decision about whether to come home or not, or whether to go home or not, instead of making up her mind about what the future was going to look like 3 weeks in advance. Because let's say she has the operation and they want her to stay overnight. So if she's already decided she's coming home, or she's going home, then if she's told she's going to have to stay the night, she can be disappointed, annoyed, worried. All sorts of things can happen which would have not happened if she had just waited and to see what the situation was after the operation. But when we live in the future like that and paint a picture of what we at that particular moment want, we set ourselves up for difficulties. And it's easy to misunderstand what the future will be. And this has to do with cards, because how about if the card for the future, in this past example, the Page of Swords, what if the card for the future shows what the questioner can understand correctly? Right, so what the card for the future shows can be conveyed to the questioner, and it's going to be understood, or it's not going to be misunderstood, so there won't be a problem. Right, so if I say to you, you're going to meet somebody important in the last week of February, and you don't bother thinking about it, that will work. There'll be an important meeting and it'll work out the way it's supposed to, or the way it could. But so the card for the future can point to or point out what is going to not be misunderstood. So with this past, present, and future spread, the questioner got the Page of Swords for the future. So she's given something simple to do, the Page of Swords, get organized, rather than being told about her overall condition 6 months from now, which is the future as well. So let's say we had got the Seven of Pentacles reversed, the Page of Batons, and the World. So if the reader starts talking about the world, the question is going to imagine all sorts of stuff that may have nothing to do with her actual future, right? Because she's dealing with certain situations right now, and maybe there's a difficult situation. She's going to project and imagine and create this possible future, a bit, because at the moment when she hears the world and things are going to go well, she can think that she knows the ideal solution, or what the ideal solution would be, even if the ideal solution is nothing like that. So there's a lot to be said for living in the present and let the future take care of itself. But too often, for too many of us, we live in the past and go over things we can't change, or we live in the future and we create conditions we're going to have to live through, even if they don't make that much sense by the time we get there. So it's a way of thinking about the cards that come up. Maybe the cards that come up describe or deal with or help explain things that the questioner can understand correctly right now. And that's more valuable than giving them, painting this picture of fabulous riches and wealth. You know, it's little things can be, if the person gets it and understands what to do and acts accordingly, then that's a good reading, I think. So if there's no major trumps, don't worry about it. And if there's a suit missing, don't worry about that either. Because what's important is to pass on to the question of what they can understand or what they can make use of right now, so that they, and not give them stuff that they can easily misunderstand, because that's just adding to the confusion. That's it. Tomorrow, a single card, I think. Okay, bye-bye.